Good morning, Bingo. How was your sleep?
This is a still and silent crowd, except for those two.
This is a still and silent crowd, and it's very different from that of the Prancing Pony. Milo was a friendly fellow, and I hope he was not upset by our hasty departure. But it is important not to stay in comfort for too long, or the whole journey would be endangered. That's why we're getting up so early. And I said that this was a dark and dreary place. Well, yes, get up before dawn and it'll be dark. But look at those two in the corner. They seem to be colorful characters and do not fit in with the rest of the assemblage. Let us see what has gotten them worked up, shall we? You mean these two? Oh, well, he is definitely a colorful character, that's for sure.
It's always a pleasure to speak with admirers.
Hello there! And can I help you with something? Unless you must have heard the name and desire to hear more of my exploits. It is always a pleasure to speak with admirers. I was just telling Haley here of some of my greatest finds, as she was held in rapt attention, and no doubt you would as well. Must be a new definition of rapt attention I've never heard before. Yes, I am the great Theodore Gore's master treasure seeker and wanderer of the wild lands. If there is a treasure to be found in the hidden places of this world, I have already been there and found it. My deeds are extensive and well documented, and my virtues similarly well known. I am so accomplished in this field that there's only one thing remains for me to do. To retire. Right. Okay, well. You're a master treasure seeker. Maybe I should become an expert treasure hunter to compete against you.
Theodore claims to be a master treasure seeker, loudly and often.
Anyone can claim to be a great seeker of treasure. In point of fact, anyone can do the seeking. It is finding that separates those with actual accomplishments from the pretenders. Well, alright. Well, they seem to have a treasure seeker and a skeptic there.
I have had a great idea.
Yeah,
Theodore could train me to become a treasure seeker.
that is right. Petronella. Has occurred to me that so far much of my manuscript involves spending time in taverns, and becoming a treasure seeker will get us into the wild lands. It will make for better reading, that is for certain. Will you please ask him? You can't ask him yourself. You want to become a great treasure seeker, but you're too shy to ask him yourself. Hello.
What's that? Your hobbit friend wants to become a treasure seeker?
I would love to teach him, but alas, it is not something that I can easily be taught. If he does not have the natural proclivity for such adventures, he would be resistant of any training I might give to him. Also, I am about to retire, and intend to spend my time regaling Haley here with the tales of my interesting and eventful life. So, I would appreciate it being left alone to do so. I'm sure Haley would appreciate a little break from your attention, if you ask me. Yes. Oh, I do not mean to be brusque. Here, take this riddle. It is apparently a clue to a treasure somewhere in the Lowlands. A treasure I have never found. You have never found the great treasure seeker. Wow. If the two of you can solve the riddle and find the treasure, perhaps I'll be able to teach you both to something after all. Good luck to you. Now, goodbye. Wonderful. Alright, let's see what the riddle is. The torrent flows, blanketed in shadows of only morning. A sentinel stares from on high, only the still watches. The red squirrel once dared to climb, but time fells all. That's the clue. Right. Okie dokie. Let's see. Maybe I do need to become an expert treasure hunter if I'm going to figure that one out. Let's see. Oh, have a mount I could borrow? Looks familiar. Alright, now, where were we going? Let's see, a torrent. Well, a torrent. This place is rather dry. Well, here's a river bed. This is not what I call a torrent. So where would that be? Sentinel. There's a sentinel. It would have to be over Weathertop. Where else would you put a sentinel in these lone lands? Because Weathertop, I heard, was a great view of everything, and that's where you'd want to search for something, I would hope. Now, of course, there are also goblins around here. Now, I just hope the goblins haven't stolen the treasure if it's there. Now, let's see. Well, speaking of goblins, hello there. Hey, don't hurt my horse. Hey! I said, don't hurt my pony. Oh, very well. How's that? Fine. Goblins. Another one. Noisy things. Maybe I can sneak up on it. What's he doing with a shirt in his pocket? Well, that small Banks last was trying to train me as a burglar, so let's see, where would you put a... Well, it says that it is in the morning, hidden in shadow. This looks like a place where we could be hidden in shadow in the morning, but I don't see any torrents around here, that's for sure. Well, let's see. Anyway, you call it Weathertop. There must be some sort of weather up here. Right? Where else would you get a name like that? Alright, let's head up this way. Up here. Up here. Up here. Well, that looks like a torrent. Alright. Now, what did that say again? A torrent flows, blanketed in shadow of the early morning. A sentinel stares from on high, only he still watches. Has to be up higher. A red squirrel once climbed. Sounds like climbing is going to be required. Let's see. How do we get up this thing? Hopefully there's a better way to climb than with my fingers. And how about up here? Ah, good. Let's see if we can find this sentinel they're talking about. How far do we have to get up this hill? And where is this sentinel? Up here? Well... Well, there's a sentinel. Alright. Yes, there's a lone sentinel. Good. Now let's take care of this bird. We don't want this bird making trouble. No way. Alright, now we've taken care of that. Let's see. A felled tree. This can't be it. I mean, it can't be a very old treasure map if it's talking about a felled tree that still has leaves on it. Ooh, looky here. What is this? What is this? Parchment. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, let's see if that... Oh, yes. Let's head back up here. And let's quickly get back to the inn and find out if Bingo can figure out what this thing says. But no treasure. Too bad. Guess I'm not quite a treasure hunter yet. Alright. Let's see. Hello here. I found a note.
You solved the riddle and found the treasure? What? I don't believe it.
Well, maybe not quite a treasure. All I found was this note. Disappointed? I am not disappointed at all. Do you see what this means? This means that someone else found the treasure first and replaced it with this message. Someone beat the master treasure seeker at his own game. The retirement is off, Petronella. I have a treasure to find. Okay. He gets rather excited. Alright, looks like we didn't quite find a treasure, but we found a note.
I think you gave Theodore the best treasure of all. A reason to keep going.
Yes. You say there's no treasure in that strong box, but I think you're not quite correct in that score. I think you gave Theodore the best treasure of all, a reason to keep on going. Now he is excited about his profession once again, and does not need to spend his days reliving his adventures of his youth. He can have an all new adventures. Perhaps his will intersect with ours for a time, too. There is still a treasure out there, after all. And I still need to learn how to be a treasure hunter. Thank you for watching this episode of The Ballad of Bingo Boffin. And next time, Bingo and Petronella will return for another adventure through Middle-earth. And this is Pine Leaf Needles, signing off.